And one really extreme thing that I found about hobbies in India is that you even have examinations or exams in your hobbies. Oh my god. Is there anything just for fun? Hello my dears, welcome back to Culture Lab, and my today's topic is the comparison of a childhood in Germany and in India. As many of you know, I've got an Indian boyfriend. I myself am German, and I thought it would be interesting to do a little comparison of how a childhood and youth looked like, or especially in this case, what our childhood looked like. Okay, I'm going to cover different aspects of growing up, of childhood, and yeah. Okay, the first thing we are going to have a look at is family. What does a family actually constitute? Like in India, as I was told by my boyfriend, like family is of course the core family of, in his case, 4 people. He has got a younger sister, but also beyond that, the whole range of aunties and uncles, and be it really relatives or friends of the family, and also the neighbors will be part of the family, because like you exchange things, you meet for having chats or cook together, and it's a really much an open door policy kind of, and family is considered a way larger group than it is here. I have a core family of 5, so it's me, my 2 elder sisters and my parents, and my uncles and aunts live quite far away, so I see them like twice or 3 times at best a year. And I also do not have such a close relationship to them like in India. Also the aunts and uncles have influence on the life of their nephews and nieces, and also the friends of the family very much, which is not the case here. Of course, there are families where the bond is way stronger, like also with relatives as uncles, aunts and cousins, but it's not so much the case in my family. Okay, let's look at the curriculum of the childhood that actually starts with kindergarten or pre-primary school. And in India, as I was told, this is from 2 to 5 years of age. And yeah, before you go to primary school, then, like most Indians, like my boyfriend, already had English during kindergarten, which in my childhood was absolutely not the case here. And also he told me what I found really baffling was that they also had like kind of small exams in kindergarten. I was like, wow, okay. When were you ever a child? Like, we were just basically crafting, painting, playing in the sand, playing with the dolls, I don't know, crafting lanterns and like painting drawings for our parents, but that's pretty much it. Nowadays we also have a little bit of playful English in most of the kindergartens. And our kindergartens are from age 3 to 6. Okay, let's have a look at primary school. Primary school in India is from age 1 to 8. Well, actually I meant from class 1 to 8, of course. Which is completely different to where I'm from. And of course, English is mandatory in most schools, especially in private schools that my boyfriend, for example, attended. And during this time, you have most of the subject, probably like quite comparable to our secondary school here. However, there is a difference that our secondary school, there is not one secondary school. You have the choice after primary school to go to 3 different ones. Only one enables you directly gain the qualification to study at uni later on, which I went on, and 2 other ones, the basic one, or the lowest one, let's say like this, enables you to get apprenticeship later and start working at the age of 18, or you go to the middle one and you can either do apprenticeship or to do 2 more years to top it up and then go to a FHAS. It's a very special system here, it's hard to explain, but it's more of a practically oriented uni, and a uni as such is more theory focused. So while my boyfriend was still in primary school from class 1 to 8, I, from the class 5 on went to secondary school. So we have a very early division of which one could also see quite critically, because it's quite an early stage in the life of a child and you haven't developed your full potential, or the neurological process is not so far advanced that you can really take that big decision so early on. But yeah, from class 5 I went to secondary school. So now further on, I ran out of memory, but now I'm trying to recap where I stopped. I think where my boyfriend was in grade 8 and I was already in secondary school. So secondary school, as I said, in Germany is from class 5 to 12 or 13, depending on your school. And we have all of the subjects almost till the very end, which is a difference to India, I guess. So what I have learned and what I've understood, there's a lower and upper secondary school, and upper secondary school is from grade 9 to 12. And this is also when my boyfriend chose his profile, and he chose the science profile, which is targeted for people to study things like engineering, math or physics later on. And then he had the option to discard some of his subjects, and he got rid of chemistry and biology. And this you would have needed, or he would have needed, if he wanted to study medicine, as I think. In Germany it's a bit different, so I chose the profile, or my profile, in grade 7. I chose the language profile, and I got rid of also 3 subjects after grade 10, which was Latin and music, even though I love music, but the theory part is not my thing. But the difference to India is that, for example, I still had biology and chemistry all the way till my graduation. And also my profile, my language profile, didn't determine all the options I had in the future at uni. So even though I chose a language profile, I could still study whatever I wanted if my final grade was good enough later on. As for my boyfriend, it was the case that he could not study, for example, medicine afterwards, I guess, because he didn't have that profile. But he anyway didn't want to. He studied engineering, electronics and communication. And yeah, I had most of my subjects still, also in Germany, you have to consider that every mark counts. Throughout the whole school year, all the tests, all the oral presentations, all the class tests, they add up to your final mark. We don't have these finals in the end of the year. But that's enough on that topic. Okay, let's have a look at hobbies. And one really extreme thing that I found about hobbies in India is that you even have examinations or exams in your hobbies. Oh my god. When is there anything just for fun? This is what a hobby is all about, isn't it? He said that he had exams in his painting class. He did aquarelle painting and also went to a music school. And also he also did certifications in typical audition or Orison dances. And here in Germany, I would say hobbies are merely or mainly for fun. Like if the child is very competitive, he or she will join a team in his free time and have a regular schedule of matches and games. Like for example, on the weekend, if you join a football or a tennis class, but otherwise you can also do it just for fun. For example, I tried out, okay, let's see whether I can get this right or straight. I tried out swimming, horseback riding, ballet, handball and tennis, and I finally stuck to tennis from the age of 13 onwards. But I never liked matches, so I just did it in my training during the week. Yeah, beyond that, I played the flute. I was never really good at it. I never really liked it, so I didn't practice enough. But then I went to a choir and I really enjoyed that. And beyond, did some drawing and spent my time with friends, what my boyfriend, of course, also did. And yeah, of course, he practiced some cricket because he wanted to join his school's cricket team, which unfortunately never happened. But he did that every evening in order to be able to be called into the team. But yeah, also I think there is a difference, due to British influence, that hobbies are often executed in school teams or in this school context, whereas our hobbies and our sports are private matters. You organize yourself to which club in your neighborhood or so you go. Okay, let's have a look at teenage in general. So what I learned from my boyfriend's teenage was that he studied quite a lot. Like in upper secondary school, the big coming thing to prep for was the final exams, and then of course afterwards the uni entrance exam, depending on the uni you would like to attend. Teenage here in Germany looks a bit different. I mean, in India you also meet your friends, but you spend your main time studying, as I found. Here it's the time where like teenagers, they seek some more independence from their parents. They spend more time in group. They seek their independence also and try out things from the adult world, like partying, clubbing if you can. Most of them start drinking and trying out alcohol during that time. I did not, however, because I did not like losing control and this kind of childish behavior that we often had in groups. And so I caught up with that in my early mid-20s. Yeah, right, teenagers here in the West or in Germany, they really figure out their boundaries and stay away from the parental kind of influence more and more. Whereas in India, I think parents still play a big role during teenage. They want you to focus on your future and not get distracted, and I think there would be quite a lot of drama in the house if you were found drinking and just being lazy and hanging out with friends. So yeah, and also parents have your career path in mind, which is not so much the case here, because everybody can normally study what they want if the marks are good enough. So also we have enough spots at unis that there is not so much of competition going on, and teenagers can really enjoy a teen age here. Of course there can also be excesses with substances, but normally if you try out alcohol and overdo it a bit during your teenage, later on it's no longer so interesting because it's not that forbidden thing. And also we don't have that Ivy League system of unis here, so any uni is quite good, especially the public ones, and we also don't have to pay, so there's not that much pressure to be extraordinary, and we have quite a lot of opportunities here, and you can study anything from social work, nutritional science, business, arts, and whatever. Parents will normally not do a lot of drama, even if it's not absolutely to their liking. Yeah, but I think in India there's like two paths that you could go that are appropriate and accepted, which is engineering with a focus on IT, and then law and medicine, as I heard, especially medicine. So of course competition will be huge, and people will study it independent of whether it's really their liking, talent and passion, but as it guarantees some future prospects or some good job positions. This is what counts predominantly there. There are just a lot more people in India than there are here, so I think there is a lot of pressure. So I think this is a great contrast to the studying here, to pursuing your talent, your passion, and even if it's not guaranteed to bring in big money or status, this is really not the primary focus here, but that you develop yourself to your own potential and to your own liking, because you have to do that job for 40 plus years in your life, and if you then really do something you hate, you should better not study it and choose that career path, because in Germany it's absolutely almost impossible to change your career. So it should really not something you have to drag yourself to every day. Okay, let's have a look at the topic first, relationship. And I think as I was told, also many Indians have their first relationship during secondary school, also my boyfriend, but of course a relationship would still stay quite innocent, like for example holding hands and meeting and just declaring yourself to be in a relationship kind of. And also most people here in the West in Germany have their first relationship in secondary school, but it can go a little further than that, because most people will definitely kiss and have sex before uni starts. Most people but also that number is decreasing. Also, I didn't have a relationship during school. I felt like not ready or not interested in it, absolutely, and had it quite late for international and Western standards. Quite late, really. Yeah, but I was not like the norm. It's also quite okay if girls and boys study together in India and come to each other's home to study, and this is always a good reason to meet, right? But often relationships are kept secret and are only lived kind of in school, and whereas here in the West or in Germany, the people visit each other's house or can even have, I don't know, sleepovers if the parents know where the person is, or they agree on a certain time where the girl or the boy has to be home. That is quite fine and quite normal, because if you forbid something, it will like escalate later on, or the person will all the more want to do it and do it in secret. And I think this is no the way to like ban something or forbid something, because then it kind of channels its way elsewhere and kind of erupts, and it's better to have an open and trusting relationship between parents and children. And yeah, also like sleepovers, I just mentioned that. Did you also have that, sleepovers? Because I so enjoyed having some of my friends over, like girlfriends, and then we would stay up till like midnight and then like do a little secret midnight party and eat some sweets. And that was really a great part of my childhood, and just playing outside in the green. I come from rather the countryside, and so we all played with our bunnies and cats, and we're sitting in hedges and riding our bikes and playing just on the street. I'm extremely grateful for that, and that I could really be a child. So now it's your turn. Tell me how you spent your childhood, or what maybe contrasts you have seen now to my childhood or to the Indian childhood of my boyfriend. I'm really interested in getting to know other lifestyles, and anything you would like to know, any questions you might have, write them in the comments below. I'll see you very, very soon again. As always, take care and see you.